Thanks, Becky. What a fantastic introduction. How do I follow that? So, yes, I'm Rachel. I've been at ARM now coming up to 21 years, so I've seen lots of changes, and I know that ages me horribly. I am now working in IP licensing, but one of my great pleasures is to chair the UK Women at ARM committee. It's an ERG, or for those who don't know, an employee resource group. And we work very closely with Charlotte's team, the people team, and the DEI team to try and move the dial. And I'd like to talk to you about that today and how we work as an ERG, what our ideas are, what our vision is, our mission, and how we're putting some of that into practice. So anybody who knows me knows I love a quote. So I'm seeing people nodding here that have been to some of my presentations before. So this one in particular: great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. Mr. Jobs from Apple. One of the many quotes that I have from Mr. Jobs at Apple. I'd like you to just pause for a minute and think about the best team that you have ever been part of. Okay. Not the smartest team, not the most experienced team, but the best team. And the chances are this was a team where people were trusting of each other, where different perspectives were taken on board and were welcomed, where you felt comfortable in speaking honestly, speaking your truth, being your true, authentic self, as Charlotte made reference to earlier. And that feeling, or that belonging, is often treated by people as something soft, something optional, something that's a nice to have. But in technology, where innovation depends on new ideas, collaboration, and creativity, that belonging becomes a true business advantage. And women's employee resource groups, or ERGs, are one of the key ways that we build that intentionally. So how do we build it intentionally? As I say, it's not a soft power, it's an advantage. So by having employee resource groups, we build trust, which builds confidence, strengthens those relationships. We have that all-important psychological safety, creating a safe space for people to speak up, ask questions, challenge ideas. We have contribution from psychological safety. People share those ideas. People bring them whole selves. They take thoughtful risks. And that leads to better innovation. So better ideas, stronger teams, smarter solutions. So that all in all gives us a stronger impact. It means companies are more resilient, more creative, and above all, more competitive. So ERGs, I would think of as not separate from company culture. What they do is they help to shape that company culture. They're not just a social group. They are a true business enabler. They're strategic. They're a lever for talent, for innovation, for leadership, and for performance. So just think about what that power could bring to your own company. After all, an unheard voice is a real missed opportunity. So why does this matter? Let's have a look at some numbers. Now, I know Gillian made reference to some numbers in her presentation earlier today. A couple of other people did as well. So let's see if you were paying attention. Anybody like to have a guess at some of these numbers? No, you're all going to be very, very quiet. Come on, somebody give me a guess.
25%.
Okay. How about the percentage of women leaving the industry before the age of 35? For whatever reason, as Gillian referred to earlier, it's not just for having children. 42, okay. Any idea on how much more of an exit rate there is for women in tech jobs than there is for men in tech jobs? 50. We've got a 20. We've got a 50. I feel like an auctioneer up here now. I'm bidding. Anybody higher? Yeah, you'll see me on bargain search next week or something. And then the annual loss, and that is just a note there. That is for the UK tech sector. Okay. Gillian's saying 2 to 3. Let's see if she's right. So let's have a look. So round of applause for those that were close. Thank you. So yes, this is why it matters. 28% of women is the global tech workforce. Now, if you think 50-50 men and women, where are the other women? What's happening? 50% of leaving the industry before 35. Now, some of this is, as Julian made reference to, leaving for career breaks to have children, but there are other reasons as well, not seeing people in the roles that they aspire to be in. So it's important to be sure that we are really listening and providing relevant help to women at this time. A 45% higher rate of women in tech jobs that are exiting. Again, possibly tied in with the last stat of people leaving the industry before 35. And then Gillian, spot on, as I would expect, 2 to 3.5 billion loss in the UK, just the UK. I haven't got a global number there. I thought it was frightening enough just having a UK number. So really we can see the problem, can't we? Tech struggles with retention and representation. Women leave tech at higher rates, which then impacts that innovation because it suffers when perspectives are missing. And diverse hiring alone is not enough. The future of our tech culture and our tech companies will be defined by companies that create environments where women can contribute fully, lead confidently, and innovate boldly. So representation, I would say, gets people into the room, but belonging determines whether or not they stay. So I think we'd all agree that those numbers need to change. What can an ERG do to help? So ERGs are employee-led groups that foster connection, belonging, and inclusivity. They support employees. They support with networking, engagement, strengthening that workplace culture, which in turn builds better retention and business success. So you can see the 4 different areas that we have there. So for community and safe spaces, women's ERGs create supportive communities where employees can connect, they can share experiences, and they get a stronger sense of belonging. That leads to higher engagement and retention. Mentorship and development. Women's ERGs can provide mentorship, networking, development opportunities, all of which help individuals grow skills, expand their careers, and build a stronger pipeline of those all-important future leaders. And visibility and representation. Women's ERGs increase visibility of women across the organisation, helping to promote diverse role models, improve representation, and support equitable career progression. And lastly, the business insight and innovation. Women's ERGs bring diverse perspectives. They help organisations better understand their customers, they help people challenge assumptions, and they drive more innovative products, services, and business decisions. So how do we do it here at ARM? So we're very lucky. We have a Women at ARM ERG. We have a number of women. It's a big company to work for. So we have one ERG that has a global structure, and that's key to deliver at local initiatives. As Charlotte made reference to earlier, actually going and seeing what's happening to people in their own regions is really important. We have 3 different pillars of culture, career, and community. And we look very closely at those. We have 2 executive sponsors, we have 4 regional committees, and we have in excess of 750 members, including our male allies. What have we done in practice? One of the most stunning ones that we did was in this actual room. We had what we call Power Chats Live, which was a session for honest career conversations. We had 130 advisors and explorers, and each of those sessions lasted for 4 short 10-minute sessions. So each person rotated to 4 different advisors. It was a really valuable space for focused conversations. But we also do small group mentoring. So small groups, one-to-one mentoring, connecting people openly and learning from each other. So the Power Chats Live was a fantastic buzz in the room. I actually have a quote from Charlotte, thank you Charlotte, where she said that it was a phenomenal session full of energy and passion. Conversations happened with people whose paths you would otherwise not cross. Questions were asked, which otherwise may not have been surfaced. And I'm really happy to say that one of our attendees, one of our explorers, was so taken by what she'd found out at this session that she actually applied for a role that she didn't think before the session that she had a chance of getting. And she was successful. So that's a great story coming from that one. What else do we do? So we've done some LinkedIn learning events with Women at Arm and our early careers. We had 633 people sign up for this event in March. It was an event where women at Arm were talking about their career journeys, what they were passionate about, how they were moving the dial in technology. Feedback was fantastic. We had some great responses of people saying their time taken was invaluable. It was a really key, insightful session. We've had 73 applications for people to join Arm and 7 hires already that have been based from that conversation. But we also connect with other ERGs. We have 6 other ERGs at Arm. So we're amplifying messages. Some of you may have noticed that I had a rainbow lanyard for our Pride group. We give alternative voices to common problems and challenges. And we also have some more additional groups that are open to all. So these are open to both allies and Women at Arm. We have menopause support. We have maternity meetups. We have early careers groups and carers groups, all to try and build that sense of belonging. And you don't need to stop there. We've also joined with Aston Martin F1, and we're doing some mentoring programs around supporting, enabling and retaining women in STEM. So we've had 10 mentors paired with 10 Aston Martin mentees on a structured 6-month engagement. That has given us a fantastic blueprint to use moving forward. So a bit like we are here today, sharing these conversations, having these innovative conversations, it's really important to share and learn. We found that we shared knowledge, we shared experiences, we encouraged each other. We had roundtable discussions, candid conversations. It really showed the power of an ERG, that they're communities that drive belonging, connection and support, not just within one company, but across multiple companies. So as Gillian has mentioned today, it's really important to get those connections. So really, let's look back at those 3 pillars and let's look at what we're saying about the business impact. So for career, our pillar of career, read competitive talent advantage. Business impact, strong talent pipeline, enabling companies to innovate and adapt to changing markets. For culture, read high performance environment. The business impact there, teams feel valued, more productive, more creative, more committed to company success. And for collaboration, look at innovation at scale. The best technology companies consistently perform because they are able to innovate at speed and execute faster than their competitors. So these aren't just people team initiatives. They're directly linked to the characteristics of the world's most successful companies. Companies like Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple, Google, Amazon, and of course Arm. They succeed because they have that ability to attract great talent. They have the creative environments where talent thrives, and they enable teams to solve complex problems together. So career attracts and develops talent. Culture enables people to do their best work. Collaboration turns that talent and innovation into business results. And I will leave you with another quote, another one of my favourites from Satya at Microsoft. The culture of a company and the values of its people are its greatest competitive advantage. So the question here is really not whether companies can afford to invest in belonging. The true question here is whether they can afford not to. Because when people feel unseen, unheard, unsafe, or unable to contribute fully, opportunities are missed. Individuals don't feel empowered. meaning innovation is lost before it's even begun. Innovation requires contribution, and contribution thrives where there's trust, visibility, and that all-important psychological safety. When people feel they belong, something truly, truly powerful happens. Ideas get better. Teams get stronger. Leadership expands. People speak up, take thoughtful risks, and collaborate more openly. Companies become more resilient, more creative, and more competitive. That's the power of community, and that's quite simply the power of a women's employee resource group in the tech industry. Thank you.